Hey, good morning. What's up, guys? I'm Yalik, and here's today's Boom Beach video. Beach. Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick video. I just looked back through the videos I've done. I've done a couple of Everspark videos, but I never did a basic. So today is going to be Universal Remote 101, because we've had it come up as a question, and I tried to explain. I was asked what double tap was because I had put that in op notes, and so I tried to explain. Where was that? Well, all the way up here. There's a whole lot of me just talking, basically, but it's easier to show. So I am actually going to show. I asked for a couple friendlies, and I'm going to use the base of the guy who asked the question. And we're gonna, let's make sure I have remote ready to go. I do, okay. And we are going to demonstrate some basic Sparky skills. So, a few things. You're going to have some practice with smoking. Rule number one, when you're working with Sparky. I'm going to put her down here on the beach. Now, my goal is going to be to hack 2 towers. I'm going to try to hack... Oh, well, I already attacked, but I should have just scouted. I'm going to try to hack 2 towers. Now, in order to do this, I do not... You can do a resmoke. I'm not going to do the resmoke. Actually, tell you what, we'll do the resmoke first. So I'm just going to drop her for this, and I'm going to walk her about to where I want to place her. You hopefully can do just a little bit of smoking. You'll notice that I'm placing her between the 2 towers that I'm intending to hack, which would be the shock launcher and the rocket launcher. So first I'm going to press hack and flare the rocket launcher, and I'm going to wait. Now almost as soon as the smoke expires, it gets to about 95%, and I cover her up with smoke again. This is the resmoke technique. Now, I'll press hack again. You'll see she defaulted to the sniper tower. I don't want that. I want the shock launcher. So I'm going to allow her to hack again. And then she gets killed because I didn't cover her back up. That is the resmoke technique. And that's one way to get multiple towers. However, it is a little tricky. And it's a little dangerous because she is exposed for that hair of a second. You'll see a lot of people try to do that, and they'll throw their smoke too early, so then she doesn't have time to get her hack off, and then you're just wasting GBE and time. Oftentimes you'll see people throw that smoke a little too late, and I threw it kind of on the edge of too late, because she did take a good amount of damage, and she could have been killed, but I just kept her alive. So I'm not always a fan of the resmoke. Sometimes it's necessary. If you need 3 or 4 towers, sometimes it's necessary. The other problem with resmoke is that depending on where you are in a base, the timing on the second smoke, the resmoke, can be very different. If you're way at the back of an op map, you have to throw that second smoke to cover her back up way early, because it does take time to travel from your gunboat to her. If you're at the front of a base, you would throw that smoke, like I said, about 95% of the smoke timer runs out, you throw your second smoke then. So getting the timing on that can really be tricky. So we don't always like to do the resmoke because there are a lot of factors, lots of things that can go wrong. In particular, I will point out there are 2 things you have to worry about, 2 prototypes with Sparky. You have to worry about blasters, and you have to worry about lasers. Lasers shoot super quickly, and they will melt her very fast. And especially on War Factory, if it's a War Factory where there's a bunch of lasers, you have to be very careful about resmoking, because you can lose her in a heartbeat. And then blasters have a glitch where if Sparky gets hit by a blaster, she starts walking to the last flare. So let's say I had flared to the rocket launcher. Right, we'll scout this. Let's say I flared to that first rocket launcher, and this blaster hits her while she's exposed, doing her hack before I've re-smoked. She will start walking to the place where I threw the last flare, which is the rocket launcher, and generally that means she will run out of the smoke that you have thrown. So re-smoking has numerous problems. So we're going to try this again, and we're not going to do re-smoke. We're going to get the same 2 towers, but we're going to do them with the double tap. Okay, so rocket launcher, shock launcher, as before. I'm going to damage beforehand. I'm going to kill this mine too, but I'm going to damage this shock launcher because Everspark, like Zuka's, has a default. She is default set to attack the most damaged tower in an area. Now, if you look around the rest of this base, nothing else is damaged. So by default, she will attack that shock launcher. So I'm going to drop my smoke, as before. Don't need it right at the base. I'm going to put her into it. I'm going to press hack right away, and I'm going to flare her up to the rocket launcher. And we're just going to be allowing her to walk. She should stop in this smoke. Okay? Now, you'll notice that the hack button is grayed out here. As soon as it turns, we're watching the smoke timer too, but as soon as she comes out of the smoke and as soon as it goes blue, I'm able to press that button, and you'll notice that Sparky killed, or hacked, the rocket launcher up top, but then, because I told her to hack again, she defaulted to the only damaged tower in the area, but the most damaged tower happened to be the shock launcher, which I had damaged beforehand. So, that is the double tap. You damage something first, and then you flare to another tower. You get yourself set up so that you're in range of both. And then as she's coming out of the smoke, as soon as the hack button stops being gray and goes back to being colored, you just sit there with your finger over the button and tap it. 1 time. If you tap more, you can get more towers. Now we're going to do a triple tap. So, let's see. We'll look at his base again. What do we want to do? Same 2 towers as before, but then, of course, you can't hack prototypes. You know that, I hope. So, let's say I'm going to try to put her... let's say I try to put her... I want to be right where this iron storage is, because that would put me in range of multiple things that I want to hack. Triple tap. If you just keep tapping the button, she will continue to hack as long as she's alive. You normally don't do more than 3 at a time. Let's try standing. I'm going to flare her like right to there. I think that will put me in range of the shock launcher up top, or the rocket launcher up top, and the shock launcher down here. And obviously I will continue to be in range of this rocket. So, in this case, attack. In this case, I am going, again, to damage that. And I'm going to damage this one also, so she will default to those 2 towers. When I just press the button, she will select, but not randomly, as normal. She will select those 2 because I have prepared them with damage. Now, in this case, I'm not going to press hack down here on the beach. I am going to flare her. Now, one thing you have to be aware of, as you saw right there, when you drop her, if there is no tower in range, she will head off in search of a tower. And so in that case, she was wandering. We're going to press hack. And we're going to flare to the rocket launcher that we want. And then we're going to press hack. And did we get off the second one? No. or actually the third one. We got off the second one, the third one didn't go. So did not succeed in the triple tap. There was too much damage, and she died. We'll try that one more time. Yeah, you have to be careful off the beach. If there's something in range, just like Azuka, again, if there's something in range, and she has a very long range, Sparky will stay where she's put. But if there's nothing in her range, then she will just wander off in search of things. So you do have to be careful about where she goes right straight off the beach, because she can wander away, and then that's bad. Do we have... okay, I don't know why I'm staring at that. We don't want that. That's what it was I was looking. Okay, we're going to try that one more time. And we'll go for the triple tap. We'll throw some critters into the smoke. And that will hopefully help take some of the heat off of Sparky so that she does what we want her to do. So, as before, those two towers. Now, dropping, I don't have to smoke right away, and flaring as before. Oops, got an extra flare in there. Other thing about Sparky walking, I'm covering her up entirely, but it's actually not necessary to do that, because she has a moderate movement speed. Press hack, flare our first tower, watch our smokes, we have some critters out, and right about now we're going to hack. And did we get... yes, we got all three in that case. The critters help keep her alive. She can hack again. As long as you have... as long as you still have the gunbone energy, she'll continue to hack things. Usually you don't want to use up all your gunboat energy on hacking, but you never know. So the critters there made a huge difference in keeping her alive. Yeah, she has a moderate movement speed, so that's equivalent to like a rifleman. All of the heroes have a moderate movement speed. Zukas walk slowly. So when they walk, you have to cover them up every step of the way. Warriors are completely different. They run fast. And so with warriors, you can let them be out of smoke and just kind of keep them on a track. And I wish they actually gave you the speeds. It says they're fast. It doesn't say how fast. There are slight differences in the movement speed between... I mean, his movement speed says moderate, and the rifleman's movement speed says moderate. That does not mean they move at exactly the same speed, same with the heroes. But generally, I mean, there are places where you can gap smoke with Everspark, because she does have moderate movement speed. So, let's see, we talked about double tap, we talked about triple tap. Showed you the critter trick to keep her alive. Oh, last thing. So, I'm going to do that last attack one more time, and... I'm going to... So one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to sit there and just spam the button, as I said. It's going to, when she's been ordered to hack something, the button grays out while she's under smoke, because she can't carry out her order. However, like I said, there are lots of times where you don't just want to use up all of your GBE. War Factory comes to mind on hacking. And you don't just want to be hacking randomly. So you're not just sitting there hammering down on the button, because then you will end up wasting GBE. You will hack something you did not want. So we're going to do the triple tap again. And once again, don't have to smoke right at the base of the beach. And once again, we're going to flare her. That was a perfect spot. We're going to leave a tiny gap somewhere. Let's see. No, well, I'm with the blaster around. Should be alright. Well, she will... one thing you do have to worry about with Everspark, she does sometimes walk out of smoke. She goes to your flare, but now we're going to press once, twice. Didn't do the critters. Oh, forgot the critters, so she didn't get off the... so she didn't get off the triple tap. Let's do that again. You'll notice on that last attack, she didn't exactly walk to my flare. She walks just kind of in the area of the flare. I don't know why she does that. It's really horrible, and it can be a little scary sometimes, because, like in that case, she was very close to wandering out of my smoke. So, damage, damage. Let's not forget the critters while we're talking. Smoke a little up the beach again. Going to flare her right up there. Yeah, we'll leave a tiny gap right here. And she's perfectly fine because she gets through that gap quickly enough that nothing is able to target her. Just a little gap, nothing huge. Now we're going to get the critters in there, and watching the smoke timer, we're going to press the button twice just as it expires. And 1 and 2. And did we get... I don't seem to be in range of that other rocket launcher. So we did get 3 towers because of the critters. She had plenty of time, but wasn't quite in range. Just a tiny bit higher up would have been good, maybe around here. Her range is long, sometimes you have to estimate. So I was probably a couple tiles past the edge of her range there. But I think you get the idea here. Do be careful about the smokes. One thing was good about that gap smoke you just saw was that it ended up leaving me with a little extra leeway in the end of my walk, so that I didn't have to worry about her walking out of the smoke. You really would prefer her to be kind of in the middle of your last smoke, not towards the edge, because if she's going to be towards the edge, then she just walking towards a flare anyway. She just might walk out of the smoke. Is there... We'll do one more point I should make. Typically, now in that case I'm trying to put myself, because I'm flaring her. Now the other thing that you will often do, rather than flaring her to a spot, as I said, yeah, we'll do one more. You can press hack right off the beach and flare her to a tower. Not to a place on the ground, but to a tower. And when you do that, what you want to do is you want to flare her. Obviously she has to be in range of both towers, but you want to flare her to the further tower. So watch. I'm going to drop my smoke, and for this I need to be careful that she doesn't walk out of smoke. I'm going to drop my smoke. I'm going to drop her on the beach, and I am immediately, while she's under smoke, going to hit hack and flare to the further tower. The further of the two that I wish to hack. So in this case, that should be my last smoke. And you see how long her range is. She will walk, as soon as she's in range of the further tower, she will then stop. And we are going to press hack again to get the shock launcher, and that's the 2 towers that we want to hack there. So you can flare her to a spot on the ground, or you can press hack straight off the beach as soon as she's under smoke, and then flare to the tower that you want to hack, the further tower that you want to hack. They're the 2 methods there of getting her where she needs to be, so that you don't end up in that situation. If those towers weren't so widely spaced, yeah, let's do one more actually. I wonder if I can get to the back and get all 3 rocket launchers. That would be an interesting challenge. Let me check the ranges. Scout. Coffee break. Oh no, I'm out of coffee. So in order to do this, I would have to clear a whole bunch of mines. He's got a whole spine of mines going there. Or probably I could go the route that I have been going, like up here, and then just flare her into this area. Let's try that. Just for giggles. And I'm not using barrage here. You will notice I'm using artillery because artillery is specific. Now, one thing to look for before we begin this attack is there going to be plenty of damage in the area to kill the towers that we want to kill. In this case, you'll notice the 2 boom cannons there right next to the HQ. There is definitely going to be plenty of damage in the area. Okay, so We're going to drop her here, smoke a little up the beach. Probably should have put that flare, or her flag, higher, because then she would have kept walking in a straight line. We are going to have to watch her for mine damage here. Make sure you can always get her right into the middle of that smoke. Okay, so where we want to be, we're close to. So we're going to flare. Now she defaults to the damage tower. We're going to get some critters going in here. Flare to the undamaged rocket launcher, and then hack, hack. Alright, and there is our triple tap going off. Sparky is dead, but so are all of this guy's. Hi, Casey. This is the friend who asked for the who asked for an explanation. So are all of Casey's rocket launchers. So, yeah, I think I've covered just about everything that you need to know. To review, there's the re-smoke technique. That's where you hack one tower at a time, and when you're re-smoking, you don't really want to try double tap. It's hard to double tap and then re-smoke after that. So re-smoke is really for taking one tower at a time. We can actually, there is one more thing that we can do. We can do a re-smoke and then combine that with a double tap. Now I just showed you triple tap, and that is one way to get multiple towers at the 3 towers at the same time. You can combine a re-smoke with a double tap and achieve the same thing. So let's try one of those. And what towers do we want to do here? Tell you what. So we'll do the shock launcher. And then we will flare to the far rocket launcher here, and we'll, somewhere along the way, we'll damage the second rocket launcher. So, observe. Smoking on the beach. Drop her. Immediately hack, flare to the rocket launcher, and she should stop right in the middle of that smoke. So, we're going to throw this smoke pretty late because we're very close to the beach, so right about now. Okay, and now we're going to damage the second launcher. We'll press hack again and flare to the far rocket launcher, and we do have to be careful about path here. With all these mines, where is she going to go? Boom mines are a problem. Yep. Okay, one more time. We'll do that again. We'll throw a little ground flare in along the way so we get her on a path where she is not going to walk into boom mines. See, there's always something more to say. I did not cover that earlier. You can take regular mines with Sparky. You can't take boom mines. So, okay. Alright. Drop down low. She's on to the rocket launcher. Again, we'll let this smoke get pretty late, and then we'll re-smoke. So that is now being killed. Now we'll flare her up to there. And while we're doing that, we'll damage the near rocket launcher. Make sure we get our smokes down. Okay, so under smoke, press hack again. She defaults to the damage tower. We're going to send her over to the undamaged tower, and now we'll do our double tap, having done a re-smoke. Actually, there we go. Okay, so there we go. That is double tap with re-smoke. And I'm not going to say again that I think I've covered everything, because I guarantee you there's something I missed, and somebody will eventually watch this video and point it out. That is just about everything you need to know to get out and start hacking. Universal Remote is one of my favorite tricks in the game. It is heavily used at the higher levels of the game. Actually, I was watching a video this morning. A guy was posting op hits from Forlorn Hope, and he's in a 50-man on Forlorn Hope. They are generally, I mean, some people do boost, but since it's a 50-man and they are a talented crew, they don't have to boost. So usually people will boost for core rushes, but for the setup hits, they're not out there boosting. So he made mention that a lot of their setup hits are just Everspark, wandering around these giant op maps, operation bases, and taking out specific towers that are a problem for, usually for all Zuka formations. So it's one of the more useful skills you can have. There are tons and tons of easier maps. I don't know. Well, I mean, like this, for example. Rogue. I know that there are some rockets up near the beach, and if somebody in my crew were able to use this a little bit more successfully, I could call for somebody to walk up to, say, about here, and take out the first couple of rocket launchers, and then maybe drop Grens back here, and they would be free to clear a whole bunch of territory and a whole bunch of mines for the next person. So it's a wonderful trick to have in the bag, in particular when you have situations where there's a beach rocket, like, let's see, Ransom will always or often have one or two beach rockets. If you can just walk up and take those out quickly, it can make a wonderful setup hit for somebody following you with Zuka. So, need to know if you're really going to improve at this game. I hope this helps. I hope this answers a whole bunch of questions, and really, at this point, the only thing that will make you better is to go out and practice it. So go do that. I'm Yalik. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Hope you have a great day. I'm out of here.